So, of course, y'all know what it is. We back again, checking in. We got something to say, something to talk about. MLK Day yesterday, military basketball tournament's going down. Y'all see, we got a couple of the champion coaches, i.e., number one ranked JBLE. Y'all know what it is. Y'all, Jazz, you sit up and you know who she is. Of course, we got Coach Johnson for the number four ranked joint base San Antonio, Fort Sam Houston. We'll see if Timo pulled up Eglin, number two ranked, 15th ranked Milmar. Y'all know what it is. We finna get it going. Pop it off. Give us a second. We'll be right back.
As soon as sounds good. All right. Company, Ted.
So what's good? You know we back here. Y'all know who I am, Trey the commish. Your boy Trey. Like I said, you got Coach Johnson, JBSA. You got my man Slick here, always here. Appreciate you, Coach, and Coach Jazz that's off to the side doing something. So of course the reason for y'all being here, of course, is the fact that y'all took care of business this past weekend. A plethora of MLK Day tournaments. One for the most part, each of y'all were a winner in some aspect. Of course, Jazz, I give you the floor since you are currently the number one ranked when it comes down to the rankings in the NMBT. What was your experience this weekend?
Newly ranked, just so because we were 5.
You know what? You'll say y'all was 5. So that must be Jay. Y'all must have been even lower than that because y'all number 4. So everyone that moved up, you was 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that's the love y'all get.
Ranking.
Did y'all have y'all lost, Jay? Is that what happened? No, Jazz. I'm sorry, Jazz. No, Jazz.
No.
Oh, so y'all was just. Oh, okay.
No. This is our third championship that we've won this season.
Yeah, we have lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jazz is silly. So, but okay. So what was this? This is y'all's third in a row, Jazz?
Championship?
Yes.
In a row? No. This season, yes.
Oh, okay. So y'all just collecting championships like they're Affinity Stones, basically.
Like it's the 1st and 15th. No, we collect them on schedule. We don't.
So what? What has the competition been like so far this season for you? Currently, the defending NMBT champions. So is it anything new that y'all seeing, or is it basically business as usual as y'all continue y'all track?
Business as usual. We've seen some new teams and some additions to some teams, but we go out there to win, so and we get it done.
So basically,
we don't really worry about what the other side
who's
has
in front of you. Okay. Why did I think anything less? Coach Dre, like you said, was 7th ranked, now 4th ranked. Continue to climb. Y'all make y'all way up. Claimed the Joe Hall, in which automatic bid for you from the Joe Hall. Automatic bid for Coach Jazz as they was the champions last year. So what has been contributing to your success for this for the most part?
Well, I'll tell you this. It's not hard to win basketball games when you got a guy like Colton Ray and Ray Robinson playing for you. It's actually really easy. They're going to handle most 95% of the basketball part of it because they're just high-level players in this country when it comes to military basketball. So from that aspect, it's easy to win games. The hard part on my side is getting guys to stay focused. When you got guys like that, making sure they keep their eyes in the right places, just doing their job, not worrying about what you can do and someone else's opportunity, but just kind of focusing on their own. Because, when you get a high-level team, when you got a good team, it's hard to win because, obviously you got more than 5 players that can play. Mm-hmm. And so when you got that 7th, 8th, and 9th player that for a lot of teams could be, the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th player, that kind of, that's hard. That's a hard obstacle to deal with. And we got over it this weekend. I'll say that. My team, we grew a lot this weekend.
So during the tournament, did you take a loss during this tournament this weekend?
No, we didn't take a loss. We just faced some
obstacles
and adversity. that we were able to kind of recover from against Lackland. We kind of lost the lead at the end, and Lackland is a tough team. I mean, they fight all 40 minutes. And, we went into overtime in that game. There was some weird stuff going on at the end, that was just weird in terms of taking points off of scoreboards and all types of silliness and nastiness. But, we were able to, and which has nothing to do with the Lackland program or Marcus, right? Because they're not in control of that. They were just occupying the same space as us. It had nothing to do with them. It was just a mistake by the referees, which I guess happens, but it's kind of hard for a coach and players to accept that, reality in that situation. But luckily we were able to pull through and still win in overtime. The next game against Dias, we performed well. Dias, they just got their team back together. They didn't have a program. And then on Sunday against Fort Bliss, our best player actually got kicked out the game.
What? Why Jazz look like that?
He got kicked out the game. We felt like he got kicked out the game. Unmerited. He was just competing at a high level. No, not in my opinion. And a lot of teams that could have broke them apart watching their leader get kicked out the game, but it galvanized the team. And because at first, it was a dogfight, but once that happened, our team kind of took off. So we were kind of able to kind of learn from that. And then, against Fort Hood, that really was, hey, Fort Hood, Ronald Traps tried to put me down. That damn Ronald Traps, he tried to get me. He came out.
He had you in his crosshairs?
Oh my God. He was not missing, man. They started off that game up 18-2 on us. I'm going to say it was a point. They went up like 26, 27 points. But, our team, I kept telling them the whole time that, since Joe Hall, the biggest word that I've been preaching a lot is commitment. And I tell them that, because we went 1-2 at the NBA Veterans Day tournament. We had some hard games against colleges that we went to some college weekends and went 1-2 again. We played other colleges and prep schools and things like that. And so I've been telling them since Joe Hall that, that's the best part about our team. You can't, 22 was the highest score in the Ledric. You can't keep down commitment because, our team, we already been down. We already done paid the price. A big saying in our program is, men may not get all they pay for, but they must certainly pay for all they get. And so, that's all it's been about is just paying the price. So I'm just glad that over Joe Hall, we got to face some challenges, overcome them, and just kind of fight as a team and show our true identity.
So in the Joe Hall, which you end up being
MLK,
MLK and the Joe Hall, your championships in Eden. So you say you didn't lose in Joe Hall. The MLK. Did y'all lose any games during Joe Hall?
No, we didn't.
Okay, so you sounded like Coach Jazz and them. So what I'm hearing, Jazz. What I'm hearing is presumably there's a crash course potentially coming as a number 1 and number 4 teams in military basketball. That it's fair to say that both of y'all would potentially be at the National Military Basketball Tournament, especially being high top 5. Both teams top 5 ranked teams in the National Military Basketball Tournament. When you hear that, Coach Jazz, what do you hear when you hear Coach Johnson? Basically, his resume speaks to that of yours for the most part.
No, it does not. No, it does not. I have never won a national championship, and I will never claim that I have.
Not yet.
Is it? Yeah, no, I did not.
Okay, say respect. Definitely respect.
Yeah.
But Coach Jazz, go ahead.
I didn't even hear you because my daughter was asking me a question.
Oh, no problem. Your track list, you said you taking care of business, taking names, knocking them off, taking names. What has it been so far for you in play as y'all get closer and closer to another National Military Basketball Tournament?
What is what?
What has it? What is your journey like right now, basically?
I don't want to say it's easy.
Okay.
But what we're we just had all Navy, all Armed Forces, and then USA. We only have one of our players returning from that so far. The others are taking breaks, resting their bodies, getting themselves together. So we've been winning these tournaments with only one of our all Armed Forces people. And, we sent off 7. So we've been winning these games without them. and it's kind of been pretty smooth. And when they return, we're excited to see what we look like when they return, plus our brand new pieces. So it's actually been pretty fun to see how everybody's grown and to see the competition and what they're expecting to see when they see us, because they'll see us and be like, well, where he come? Where's this person and who's that and where is this person at? So I'm excited for Capital Classic, if I can say now.
Okay.
Just to see what that brings before nationals, because that's really what your first test is.
Your litmus
Capital
test.
Classic,
Okay.
and then you look for nationals after that. But I'm excited to see what we can do there, because last year we fell really short.
T-Mo, what's good, fam?
I'm surprised you ain't got a Kobe jersey on.
Work
Change
right.
the trophy around your neck, something.
Hey,
you disappointed me, to be honest.
Definitely would have if I wasn't at work right now.
T-Mo, what's good, man?
I can't call it.
So oh yes, of course. You know what I'm saying? We was just talking. Number 12 ranked Eglin in the building. Y'all was one of the victors this weekend. What was your track this weekend going to? Y'all taking the L's this weekend?
Nah, we don't know what those are.
Oh.
Let me get off mute. What?
But nah, we went 4-0 on the weekend. Played some good competition. Ran up against COB Jacksonville team, and we played our rivalries, Herbert, and we're victorious over them. And then coming down to the wire, playing against a good Mayport team, went in the overtime, and ended up winning by 3 in the championship game. So it was definitely we definitely had a full at that tournament.
So of course, are you going to be playing in the Capital Classic? Y'all going to Capital?
Undecided right now.
Okay.
My players will be.
I knew Jazz was gonna pop her head in there. Okay, I'm listening. She is too, evidently.
Yeah, I don't know if Eglin is going to be there, but I will be there.
Okay. I hear you. I got you. I picking up what you're putting down. Coach Ray, is Fort JBSA Fort Sam? Are they gonna make that trip? Be in the capital as well?
Yes, we are.
Oh, so that's what's up. I see. Jazz do her jig. So the tune up, of course, getting a chance to see that. I know for you a couple of weeks ago, Coach Jay, you had to split your teams because there was a tournament you played on two fronts, as you was the NBA had a tournament in Fort Cavazos, and there was a tournament. The Joe Hall Classic was going on here as well. What was that experience like? Did that help help your team build in a sense?
Yeah, I mean, because we got guys, like I said at the beginning about keeping your eyes in the right places, being prepared for opportunity. Another big saying in my program is opportunity is no respecter of persons, right? So it doesn't matter how much, if you choose you want to focus on what somebody else is doing in their moment. If you want to say, oh, I could do this in that moment, coach, and I can do that in that moment. And then what happens is the opportunity pops up and those same players, they weren't focused. And then, so down in Killeen, we got to see some of our guys go down there and perform. I mean, go down there and lead. The most important thing for me about Killeen was being able to watch my assistant coach, Nakia Truelove, go down there and lead. I think she really is. I think that if she was the head coach at a few teams, that would be great. She is by far the best assistant coach I've ever had in military basketball. She leads with the passion that's required to win. She has no favorite. She's no holds barred. She's literally like, I couldn't ask for a better staff. So it was great getting her an opportunity to lead, which hopefully, hopefully she could be able to become one of my competitors, or maybe she'll even pass me. She really is that great at what she does, take over my job. So I'm just really grateful for her that weekend, going down and leading, going down to Killeen with seven guys. And I mean, there's no secret that I kept the big hitters with me down at Joe Hall. And she went down there and displayed, our biggest motto is faith over confidence, the ability to, despite circumstance, still believe in the things we do and the things we built. And she displayed that weekend. So over that weekend, you know, Joe Hall, like I said, when you got superstars like Colt and Ray, winning basketball games and winning tournaments is easy. What she did was by far the hardest thing that weekend. So that's where our team grew, was with Coach Trulove, what she did down in Killeen.
Okay, shout out to Coach Trulove and her resiliency. So I asked this to Timo and Coach Jazz. Are y'all able to entrust teams and stuff to other people while you if you had to do that on fight on different fronts, or so is that something which is instilled
Jazz
in your
got the
program?
best goddamn coaching staff I've ever seen in military basketball. So let's go ahead and get that out the way.
Okay.
Coach Doe. All right.
Yeah.
Bardsdale. I mean, I know Coach Doe. I know he's
Okay.
capable.
Yeah.
James Lewis. His resume. We don't have to say what his resume is.
Yeah,
So
Lou.
yes,
Okay.
she does. I'll answer
Very
for her.
long. Yeah, legit.
Like, yeah, no, they got a hell of a coaching staff over there. Sorry, Jazz.
No, you're right. No, but you're right. Because people, and it's funny because not a lot of people recognize that Lou stopped playing. So they'll look at the bench and see him coming in his Crocs, and they're like, "Well, where's his bag?" And then he's standing next to me, and they're like, "Oh no, I know they all didn't do this." I'm like, "Well, yeah." And he's helping out so much. Like adding two people who know basketball and know all these players and know how the system works. All I gotta do is stand there for real. Just kidding. But it works out. They help out a whole bunch, a whole bunch.
Timo, matter of fact, Timo, are you still coaching and playing, or is it are you hanging up the whistle for a second and just committing completely to the game now that you're back from injury?
So I am back on the court, but just recently here, 2 weeks ago, our head coach, he PCS. So right now, kind of in that player coach position. But yeah, we went down there this weekend. Didn't have a coach. All players got the job done. That's what it took. And from here on out, I mean, that's pretty much all we're gonna have to do every game. Is just go with what we got. Still looking for a coach at the moment. But if we don't find one, we just keep doing what we're doing.
Okay, so it's on all fronts. So he's exceeding resiliency on all fronts and everything like that. So of course, it's been it's been a while since I spoke to everyone here and there. Of course, I see and always give congratulatory when I see the different posts and everything like that. So what has been going on for y'all in military basketball in general? Like, how has it been building? Is y'all programs being uplifted? Y'all getting the support that you feel you need, or is it just basically the same thing and you've been just continue on with missions?
Jazz?
Was that for me?
Anyone could have answered it. How has been military basketball been treating y'all so far this year coming in?
It's good. Like as far as our base support.
Yes, everything.
It's pretty good. We're able to host more games and more people are excited to come watch us play. Of course, having that banner hanging in our gym is making people ask questions.
Are we having banners?
Yeah.
Okay,
the women's one, the men's one. I mean, it's a lot, but they like to ask questions and figure out who we are, what we're doing. They like to come and watch our practices, and they got like the old guys who work out in the gym. They're like, "Oh, I like what y'all doing here." So we have increased participation. We have people who want to come out, and the gym actually wants to host some more home games. So we're going to try to look into doing that more often. Maybe get a tournament here.
Oh, okay. Call them out. Coach Timo.
So far, our year has been pretty decent. We haven't gotten the support from the base that we would like. Our fitness center, they actually got hit with a big deployment, so a lot of their people
Understandable.
And so we can't even host games here on Eglin right now because they don't have staff on the weekends. So we've been hosting our games over at Herbert. with, like I said, our coach PCS, and we had a couple players PCS. So it's been a lot of hurdles, but like I said, it's not gonna stop us from going forward. Just play the cards that we dealt.
Of course, nothing less from service members. Coach Johnson, what's good? I'm down here with you, so I try to pull up when I can.
Yeah.
So what's going on with for you?
I mean, we're in a good. I'll say we're in a good place in our program right now. We still got a lot of learning to do. Kind of always removing the outside noise. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of outside noise about things about our team, opinions and things like that. But luckily we don't get any victories from anybody's opinions. There's no crown and the things people assume about us. Only thing that we do, the reason why I said on Facebook that we were the committed, because even though we won, a big, we decided to upgrade our 100%, right? So after Joe Hall, it was the Christmas break, it was New Year's, other teams were taking breaks. We were in the gym heavy every day, wanting to pay the price, understanding that because we won, we can't come back the same team, right? Because people have already seen that version of us winning. And so they're going to be prepared for it. And so just constantly working, constantly upgrading your 100%. Just because we got better doesn't mean we still can't get better. Just staying committed, unlocking the doors of could be. I tell my guys that all the time. Could be is hidden behind commitment. You can't find out what you could be until you commit to something, right? You could be stronger, but you don't commit to the gym. You could be faster, but you don't commit to the track. You could be a better shooter, but you're not getting up shots. So don't talk to me about what you could do. Talk to me about what you're committed to. And so, that's been a real heavy saying right now in my program. Commitment. And so, our commitment is what got us back in that Fort Hood game. The ability to not change our identity, just dig a little bit deeper into our principles, the things we built this team on. And it showed in that Fort Hood game, because we were down, and a lot of people were counting us out. But, I'm just glad I got a bunch of guys crazy enough to believe in the things I teach.
So during that time frame in which Timo, his look is like, I guess he was galvanized by your words as well. Who did y'all have to go through during the? Because I don't think it was a round robin event. Who did y'all have to go through to get to the championship and face Port Cavazos again?
No, it was a round robin. We played everybody.
Okay.
We played Lackland. We played Dias. We played Fort Bliss. We played Fort Hood. I mean, all those games have their own versions of diversity in it. The Dias game, we didn't have as much of our team because of the time slot and previous commitments. The Lackland game, I already spoke upon that. The Fort Bliss game, our best player got kicked out, our leader. Him and Mo is kind of the forefront of our program. And then against Fort Hood, I mean, Colton also got fouled out on one of the most egregious calls I've ever seen. He got fouled out at the end of that game, which could have been another gut punch. But once again, faith over confidence, faith over circumstance, faith over fear. My guys just showed up and,
it's a horrible
every battle.
Oh, they can hear me.
Hey, Dre, y'all played Lackland?
Yes.
Y'all beat them?
Yes. In overtime.
How many times have y'all played them?
4 times. No, 3 times. 4 times.
4 times. And what's y'all's record against them?
We're 3-1.
Just curious.
Okay.
So, Timo, why you are? What was y'all's journey through? Who did y'all have to play to get to your championship trophy raising?
So we played NAS Jacksonville on the first day. They didn't have all their players, so yeah, we beat them. Second game was Herbert Field. Our rivals from down the street came down to like last minute of the game. And we ended up winning by 4. Then second day was elimination day. Played ended up playing Jacksonville again. They beat Maxwell, who is currently undefeated in the CMAC. They eliminated them. They had like 3 of the players wasn't there on the first day. They showed up that second day, and then they were definitely a better team. But ended up playing them and got down by. We were down by 23 points in the first half. And we ended up cutting it down to like 10 right at halftime. Ended up making our way back, cutting the lead. Then we actually took the lead with like the last 2-3 minutes of the game and then held on to it.
Okay.
Then after that, Mayport, it was after playing 4 games in a weekend, everybody was tired, but it was still a dog fight. They went up, we went up, they went up, we went up. Nobody wanted to give up. And at the end of the day, like I said, we took on the trophy, and that's all that would matter. That's what we went there for, and that's what we did.
In state, of course. For you, Coach Jazz, I know she was there cooking some stuff. Where, who did y'all end up facing throughout through y'all journey to y'all championship?
Our first game was Seymour Johnson, and then we played Fort Gregg Adams.
Okay.
Fort Lee. Then when we started tournament play, we played Andrews first, and then we had to play Fort Moore, so Ace and crew, and then we ended with Bragg or Liberty.
Fort Liberty, okay. And I seen the brackets that someone had put up. So of course now, doing that, like you said, more MLK is out the way. The next step, of course, is going to be your Capital is coming up soon. Then a couple of weeks after that, we're going to be running into the MMBT. So as the scrolls at the bottom, you see rankings that are in front of each one of y'all's name. What is that for ranking me for y'all at this point, especially when the committee gets together and they decide, Steve-O's shaking his head, and they decide, hey, this is where we see y'all at. Jazz, you're currently number 1, but you said y'all was number 5 at some point. And I think
before my Facebook post, yeah.
Yeah, so you're at number 5 at this point. Timo, where was y'all before the 12th rank? Before y'all 12th rank?
17.
That's 17. So of course everyone has moved up and made moves and has ascended. So once y'all see that y'all's number, y'all rank has changed. Of course, I know you'll believe because your teams are playing and you given everything you got. And they're committed, as Coach Drake talks about his committee. Everyone has a level of commitment. Seeing now that, okay, you're 1, you're 4, you're 12, as opposed to being 5, 7, and 17 at some point. What is that? What y'all feel when y'all get that? When y'all see that?
I like to look at it right before I watch Housewives. It really gets my petty mode in. It's really nice. I smile, I laugh. We put it in the chat. We talk about it.
Okay.
I like what Trap said.
The worst in the CFB. Can we ask the NBT reward rosters over records? The top 15 legit, but the bottom half has these teams losing records. So I'm not going to even try to speak for the NMBT, but I could speculate that. I mean, is it over records? I mean, for y'all, of course, y'all's rankings was different at one point. Jazz, you said y'all haven't lost this year, and you came in and you was number 5. Of course, there was 4, but that was ranked above you. Is it a fair assumption, taking a look at like they do with the CFP and all the other ranks, that they take in consideration who you have on your roster, who you have at the time, and then they go from there? And is it justifiable?
That's impossible.
Okay.
We sent 7 people to armed forces. 3 were on the USA team.
Okay.
So if we're thinking about rosters, we should always be number 1.
Okay.
Right? Am I wrong?
No.
I can see. I mean,
so if it's based on rosters, we should always be number 1. If it's based on record, we should always be number 1. I mean, like it makes no sense. Makes no sense. When I put things in order at work, I usually like write it out, spread it out. I probably have like a checklist to put things in a certain place. Like this needs to be first because this checks these boxes. You think You think that's what's happening?
So I'm not sure.
Okay.
I
All
know
right.
I've heard before that is entertainment.
Pure.
But
Pure.
really, so I don't know if y'all entertained by it or
Very.
it makes for conversation as well. So currently number one, who's between Coach J and Jazz, who's 2 and 3? Well, you know what? I have it right here.
I believe Camp Pendleton and Hawaii Elite.
Oh, Hawaii Elite is. I know they're one of them. So
Camp,
of course,
I believe.
Looking at JBL East, number one for the WayMac. Number two, Hawaii Elite. At 3, Camp Pendleton. 4, of course, Sam Houston Rangers. Luke Air Force Base, who didn't compete in the tournament this weekend. Lackman Warhawks. Fort Carson Mountaineers, Fort Cavazos at number 8. At number 9, Maxwell. At 10 is JB Meyer. CMB is number 11. At 12, Eglin, West Texas. At 13, at 14, Fort Greg Adams. MCS Miramar, another champion at number 15. Robbins Air Force Base at 16, Fort Moore at 17, 18, Mayport, 19, Fort Riley at 20, Cannon Commandos, Montfort at Point at 21, 22, MBD San Diego Tritons, Herbert at 23, 24, Andrews and 25 is Anacostita Bowling coming in at 25, in which is stated that the lower half is probably looking at some suspect things. I mean, but like I said, I think I've heard Coach Fest Richardson speak and say it's an entertainment aspect as well. But from what I'm feeling and understanding is if it's going to be out there, y'all want to see would prefer to see something put into it as opposed to what y'all getting as a product.
I mean, yeah. The thing is, even with Coach Richardson, I mean, it's his opinion, it's his tournament, and so I'm not here to criticize it. How he does it is how he does it. In terms of what you spoke on, it's all about opportunity. That's all these teams want is to be making sure that we're given the fair opportunity. Which I'm not here to criticize Coach Richardson at all. Our view by when he says our view by our tournament, I know he said that to me personally about a lot of teams who want to be in the rankings for nationals and things like that, but don't compete outside of their own space. So if you're not willing to go compete other places, and put actually your product on the line, we did it last year and we failed. We failed. We failed to be outside the top 16. We went to tournaments and lost, and that's the reason why we weren't in the top 16. So put your team out there, go compete. Even when it's not fair, I probably won't be coming down to the Capital Classic fully loaded with all my players, but I'll be coming down because it's an opportunity to compete with the best in the country in Langley. So that's the reason why Fort Sam is going down in Washington, D.C., and that's all these teams want is opportunity. Fort Riley, I think, should be ranked higher than 19. I think they're the most resilient team in the country. I've said that multiple times. I watch them constantly go down in games, constantly come back, constantly work for each other. They got a new coach over there. I love the Fort Riley team. I watch them fight every game they play. But that's another thing that I talked to that coach about. She just has to kind of get them to travel so guys can get their eyes on them because they're a great team. But yeah, that's just Fort Riley went 0-3 this weekend. I can only speak on what I know about. And from what I've seen and with my eyes at high-level tournaments with other teams, Fort Riley performs.
And so, in hearing what you said, of course, it helps. I'm very sure Mike Richardson, who's in the comments, it helps them as well to see from based on if you got teams that are out there competing, just like you said, y'all finna go and at that point gonna put your number 4 up against number 1. If y'all end up meeting up with against JBLE for the most part. It's an open tournament, correct?
Yeah.
Although they have made some changes.
Yeah. We got to get there. Yeah, we got to get there. There's no guarantee we'll get there, but we're just grateful for the opportunity.
So I see Coach Johnson. What's up, Coach RJ? What's going on? Glad to have you with us. So how many of y'all are competing against colleges and semi-pro teams and getting a different look as opposed to just military based basketball teams?
We're not doing colleges or semi-pro, but we do play in Battle of the Badges tournaments.
Okay.
We get those looks.
We compete against colleges and semi-pro teams when we have the opportunity.
Coach Mitchell in the tournaments, he said he coming for that spot.
Which one?
Okay.
Oh, Pendleton.
Yeah,
Yeah, Coach.
Pendleton is a strong team.
Oh, he said that's what he said. That's who they play. Okay. I know, and I mean, and come to think of it, Coach Richardson did say and speak on it, especially when you come down to Hawaii, who doesn't have as many opportunities as the people on mainland or here. They play against a lot of semi-pro and colleges based on that, in which I guess that has earned them a number 2 based upon what Coach Richardson said is who they play based on who they see in the tournament. So in state, I guess once you strap them up, lace them up, and get on the in between the lines, that's where you basically it comes out there. Answering his question. Okay, I got you, RJ. So now what's up for y'all? Like you said, capital is just around the corner. Is there any in between? I know for you, Coach Jay, you play in the NBA, so I'm very sure you have some teams, some games coming up. Timo and Jazz, what's up for y'all coming up?
So we kick back our season off on the 3rd of February. I think we got 10 regular season games left. So we're just gonna we're not in any more tournaments, I don't think. February, March. Yeah, our conference tournament is beginning of April. And then 2 weeks after that is when Nationals is. So right now our focus is finishing the season out and then finishing out the conference tournament as well.
Okay. Coach Jazz?
We have some WayMac games. I'm not sure who or when off the top of my head, but no. Is that what the world wants?
Is that what the world wants?
That's how we have between Capital Classic and then same schedule.
Of course, there's always on a king.
Who he playing with?
I don't know. That's an Akeem question.
Well, here he is.
Yeah. Akeem, they got questions for you, fam.
You can type your answer in the comments. That would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, for us, we got games on the 27th and 28th down in Killeen at Fort Cavazos. Then we go out to the Capitol, and then on the 24th and 25th of February, we go down to Oklahoma City. And then March 15th to the 17th, we go to Puerto Rico. And March 22nd and 23rd, I believe, we're going to be back down in Killeen, and then the conference tournament, April 12th through the 14th, and then Nationals. And then, of course, hopefully if we're found worthy enough, we'll be playing in the NBA Finals in Philadelphia come Memorial Day. So we got a lot of games. We'll see how it goes.
So do you see, of course, Coach Jay, he's locked in a lot of games for the most part. Does that help your squads for the most part with the with a slight layoff here and there, or to stay busy and compete? Which one is more beneficial for your squads?
You guys,
I think a solid mix of both is healthy. My team is we're a little on the older side, so we appreciate a little break between tournaments, but our chemistry has to stay intact, so we try to make sure we keep playing games with our squad as much as we can.
I mean, yeah, I think I believe in playing games. I think it's hard, especially with the kind of the standard I ask for guys to come into the gym with at practice. I think it's hard to ask young guys to do that week in and week out, and they don't have anything to look forward to. So I think in order to keep the focus, especially in a program that's kind of hard, physically straining, I think you kind of have to always have games to keep young guys interested.
So Akeem is on his moving to Cavazos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More.
Interesting.
I mean, hey,
Indeed.
I mean they're a great team.
That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, for Cavazos, they really are a great team.
That's always possible.
Yeah, I mean, with Akeem, that's gonna only elevate their team because of his positive attitude and how hard he works. I think he'll be great for Hood or for Cavazos. Excuse me. Like you got to play 8 games to be eligible. Yeah. That's the
Oh,
rules.
really?
Do you? Is that
To be
the
eligible for
bylaw
what?
That's just one of the rules.
in the NBA?
Just they kind of want to make sure guys are playing for their team in the NBA because that's just kind of their space. That's how they operate. That's what they believe is within their vision of military basketball. So, I mean, we're struggling with the same thing. We got guys PCS in here that we're going to struggle to get those 8 games in, which you just got to try to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of hard. I'll say this: it really does take a lot of commitment because it's kind of hard to get military guys to travel, especially because some of these weekends are, let's just be real, are in between paychecks. And I don't know about you guys, but when I was an A1C or a senior airman, I mean, I got paid on the 15th. I was asking for money from my mama by the 19th. So that's kind of what makes it hard. But, you know, we just got to kind of power through it. What? I said something wild.
8 regular season games, if you're not mistaken. So correct. So I mean, I guess it's something you have to have some checks and balances in keeping the 8 games to a part. So it's rough. But from what I'm hearing, of course, you're in the NBA, so that keeps that gives you a lot of opportunity to play. Like Coach Jazz just said, she, gives her team an opportunity to rest, and they just know with their rest, what comes in it. Because I'm very sure we know she pushes her practices hard, and then of course, Timo, like I said, he technically has the same schedule in the sense, being that they have to compete. So it's definitely looking like y'all's kind of like locked in as y'all get closer and closer to potentially playing for the NBA Finals being in Philadelphia. Coach Jazz, y'all didn't get into the NBA this year?
No, sir.
Okay. Word.
I mean, like I said, we try. See what's going on. All right, try. I'll take the bait.
Okay.
Right now, I'll start with this. I believe when it comes from on my front, I can't speak for Jazz. I can't speak for anybody. Hey, I can't speak for Jazz. I can't speak for anyone. But on my front, I think sometimes it's hard because, my passion can be misunderstood.
Okay.
It can be misunderstood. And so sometimes it's hard to go against coaches and guys who, how do I say it? They have an effect on things, right? They have a strong voice in this country. And so when your passion is misunderstood, because I mean, there's no doubt about it. I'm passionate, right? I'm intense when you coach me. There's a reason for that, and guys are more interested in learning about what's around me and what's happening around me, the things I do, than learning about me. And so, my passion is misunderstood versus guys on my team, my players, they fully understand it. I commit myself to my team. Like I said, we're just at a point to where we can't control what other people think about our team. I mean, we see We see it. We're not going to sit here and act like, oh, we don't pay attention. No, we see it. We see Coach Johnson is he's just building teams. They're not doing anything. They're just coming together, not working hard. We love that stuff. We love to hear that. We love that. I tell my team we're going to be an example every time we fucking play. We're going to be an example of what hard work looks like, of what actually not throwing like every goddamn team in America likes to do, throwing pennies at wishing wells. They want to put in a little bit of work. They expect a diamond to fall out of a gumball machine. Put in a little bit of work and expect everything to fall out, right? And so we're paying the price, and it becomes aggravating when players are deprived of opportunity. That's my biggest thing. Like I said, I'm not embarrassed about my story in military basketball. Military basketball is something that I placed confidence in my most humble state as a man. I was, going through hell when I was stationed at Fairchild Air Force Base in Washington. I'm not ashamed to say, mentally, I wasn't doing well. I wasn't doing well at all. I had quit coaching. I had a lot of stuff going on. Personally, it had even gotten to a point, I'm not ashamed to say, I was looking for more permanent solutions for a temporary problem. But I ended up making it out of that and, I had mandatory time I had to get out of the house, and I spent it at the gym. There was two people called Corey Paisley and Emily Leak down at Fairchild Air Force Base. Their program was kind of struggling. They had been asking me to come out, and I didn't. But then, because of the time I needed to spend out at the house, I ended up going out there and helping out the team. And it really did change a lot for my life, really. Like, so I actually care about military basketball. I actually care about it. It's something, like I said, I place hope and confidence in. As I built up the Fairchild team, I built myself up. So when I see words like resiliency being thrown around flippantly, and there's more effort in our sport currently at getting players kicked out of and preventing them from playing basketball games than it is bringing them in, which is all I try to do. That's all I'm doing. All right, I'm trying to bring guys into military basketball because I understand the resiliency it brings. I understand the passion and the things that, it helped me. It took me out of where I was at. And so I understand what it can be for other guys. And so when I get upset and get mad, they think it's because, he wants to stack his team. He wants to be selfish, when it's actually the opposite that is true. I'm not going to bring up names and give out specific situations, but this year I directly helped a competitor. I'm not going to say help, but a competitor of mine, somebody in my direct path that can get in the way of my goals for my team. All right, there was a player in this country that was going to play on my team. He wasn't in Texas, so when we did the open tournaments, he was going to come down and play for us. But where he's at, there's a NBA team closer to him, and according to the NBA rules, he could play for that team. So I could, and he's a difference maker, like straight up difference maker. He would have moved the needle on my team. He's going to move a needle on that team, going to make them more dangerous than what they already are. But because his resiliency, him playing military basketball, him actually having an opportunity to compete was more important than the goals that I have set for my team. Mm-hmm. I called the opposing coach and said, hey, I got a great player for you. You recognize him from these tournaments. This isn't smart, but it's the right thing. And so, like I said, we don't get any crown in investing in people's opinions. But I don't care about how you talk about how much you build my team. But, people walking around saying things like, he only goes to compete with stacked teams. That wasn't my narrative 5 months ago as a coach, when I was going down to tournaments with 7 people, 6 people getting drugged through the mud. But you get a good player, a great player in this country, as far as I'm concerned, the best player in this country. And all of a sudden, the opinions and the environment, the soil around your own seed starts to change. And I'm not a guy that can be easily intimidated. I'm not a guy that's going to shut my mouth. My passion is the reason why I am where I'm at. So I'm not going to abandon it at the pinnacle of my efforts. Just because I'm starting to achieve, they want me to leave my passion outside the door. I'm not walking into any space that I can't bring my passion with me. So it's just that simple. So that's the way I feel about it. I don't see what else there is to say in terms of that subject.
Yeah, I got it. So of course, you know what I'm saying, it's so I'm not sure, but it sounds like you feel like there has been, I guess you could say, shots have been shot at you in your work ethic and that of coaches, in which I think, you know what I'm saying, at one point I think Jazz had a couple of years ago had to go through the same type of stuff, in which, you know what I'm saying, it was, we've seen what she did and put it out on the court, but then of course she was still being questioned as a coach. And I mean, after she won the NMBT, it was a difference. I remember her jubilance and how she came across, and and the days after that, and I think even months after that, she was still celebrating. So I can understand if you're saying when you as a coach and when you put forth the best efforts and you're saying and you faced with adversities and the resiliencies, I can say, not to throw it around flippantly as you said, but the resiliencies that are put in front of you, you want your just due. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got, I ain't saying you gotta give me a pat on the back, but recognize. And so I
Yeah,
guess
it's not even as much about the recognition. I try my best. You know, like I said, I posted speeches and things like that. I try my best to put my players at the forefront. All right, they get the pictures. I make their highlight videos. They're all over our YouTube page. I try to put them at the forefront. I try to expose them. But because, I mean, there's no doubt some of them are extremely talented. Guys that are extremely talented, when they played at a high level, it's hard to convince them to come play military basketball. So they only want to play for coaches like Jazz, you know, me, people that are fully committed to their team. And when guys want to be tyrants to their teams, that's the reason why they don't want to come play for you. It's not because we got anything special going on. Me and Jazz ain't got no NIL money. Passion, focus, intensity is the reason why players want to pay for our team. They know what they're going to get. You can call us crazy. You can say whatever you want about us. But at the end of the day, when that buzzer sounds and the fucking ball goes up for 40 minutes, you know exactly what type of coach I'm going to be. You know exactly what type of passion you're going to get. You know exactly what type of intensity you're going to get. You know exactly what type of focus you're going to get. Like, what do people get when they get you? That's what you need to ask. So Jazz cooks for us. That's why we stay. Hey, what's crazy is, hey, my players are in the same situation, right?
I legit do. That's funny.
That's just how it goes, man.
Is that it?
that's what Chad says. That's it. That's all. I mean, everyone has their reason. Everyone has their reason.
I throw them parties. Oh man.
So, and so Jazz, Coach Dre, what is there anything different in which you're bringing to the table outside of the intensity and your X's and O's and stuff like that? Do you bring anything else to the table? Is there a development program? Is there other opportunities in which you provide for players or outside of that once or while they're in your area, in your environment, to go on to carry on to other places? Like, is there anything particular in what you're doing that's different for the other coaches?
Like Snow said, I feed them. Really no. We got really nice uniforms too. I think a lot of people see our gear and they be like, "God, I gotta come to Lakers." But
hey, it works for Oregon.
Yeah, I think you can put us in that same level.
Okay.
As far as gear. But I mean, who doesn't want to bring home trophies every tournament?
Who doesn't want to look good? That's the same thing like Jazz just said. Who doesn't want to look good? That's the reason why we have a list for different colorways for uniforms. I know guys want to look good.
I only seen that black one with the big old
the Taz.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that means you check. See, people
y'all
checking out the
flag.
Huh?
Y'all got some new stuff for Capital Classic? You gonna get fancy? I mean, do what you gotta do.
I mean, no, we got like I said, we got 11 colorways. We don't need nothing else.
How many packing?
How many ever games it takes to win the tournament? However many it takes to win the tournament, man. But yeah, guys want to look good, different. I mean, like I said, I put my guys obviously in front of the camera a lot. Get them some exposure, pictures. I'm real big on mentorship in the program. Our young guys, they do things like take care of the uniforms, take care of the stuff like that. But our young guys don't pay for their food on the road. Our young guys shouldn't pay for anything on the road. I don't care how many mistakes the young guy makes in practice. no matter what happens, the only job for our young guys is to uplift. That's a big word in my program right now. Mentorship, mentorship, mentorship. You know, you are an absolute waste of a human being if you have went through something and have been through a battle and have done something and watch another airman, another soldier, another seaman go through that or be going through that, what you went through at your young career, and you don't help them out. So, you know, fellowship and mentorship is two big things in our program right now.
Okay.
And then I would like to add, I know you haven't got a chance to see this because this was an addition in the summer, but I got us these. You see what that says? For when we won, my nails look amazing, by the way. That's really good. But we got these after the Orlando tournament we won.
Okay.
So it's things like, you mean like, come on, things to add
I'm
to
so
your
sorry.
face.
Do those things.
Wear around your neck.
Yeah. Do those
Going
things
in.
like people try to make it seem like their players don't like stuff like that. Like their players
They
don't like
love it.
pictures and videos and we're a real program. We don't do those things. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Fine. Cool.
When
Whatever.
I broke those out at
Deprive your
practice,
players. And when they want to come over here where we don't deprive them, don't say anything, right?
Right.
Deprive your players trying to hold up some principles, we don't do that because you know this. Whatever. All right, that's
they
fine.
deserve it. They earned it.
They earned it, right? They're doing some stuff that is not required, but it's still necessary, like showing up to practice and working hard. They deserve things like having photos taken of them, a lot of jerseys, free gear, rings. You know, they do a lot of things that they don't have to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm all about the amenities.
Coach True Love coming in, pop your
friend here. Okay.
That's my assistant coach.
That's his assistant coach.
Man, I look like she's the most amazing assistant coach. The most amazing.
Don't you love the compliment? But then the hey, we up next though. Like that's what's up. That's what it's all about. Competition is what it's all at. Little no jazz or my ring last week. See, you gonna say so,
okay, yeah.
So it'll be small victories in 6 of which you're gonna say anything in which you can use to get someone to the point in which is like, you know what, that's the program I wanted. The small time frame in which I was in which I coached the minor league, which one of your players played for my squad. I was big on, you know, saying being, like you said, being proficient. Like I get players that call and be like, "Hey, I'm trying to come play for you." I was like, "Well, we don't house people. You know, saying you're here in Mississippi." And I'd be like, hey, I can slide you the number or the name of the coach that's closest to you. And just on the strength, and I mean, that's what I mean. As much as I felt like I needed players, I was like, I can't do nothing to be real. And as much as even when I did that, they'd still be like, just on the strength of you being 100 with me and you know, saying being real and this, at the third, looking out for my well-being and telling me, he's like, I still want to come play for you. I was like, you know, saying, so I give him the information. I'd be like, all you can do is show up, and if you show up, we'll see what's going on. So, players, for the most part, or individuals that mess with you, that's what they want in state. So, if that's what y'all putting out there, then of course, in that energy and that environment, then it's only right that you get that. I know Coach Wayne was one of those, and that was getting that. Of course, we all hear the conversation in reference to him and Colton and Ray and Traps and all of them during their time in South Carolina. But like again, some people want to play for those coaches, and it's a hard bond to break. In which it seems like y'all are establishing that bond for your squads.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's about. Just having a little taking pride, you know, and telling the story, being grateful for the opportunity.
Not his guy. I got a few of those.
As a junior, he said he still wear his ring sometime.
And so now, of course, who won the Capitol last year?
Oh, that was funny.
Charleston.
They did.
And
Charleston, South Carolina military basketball is
on the men's side.
On the men's side,
yes.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Jazz suiting up and putting it on again.
Come on now. Come on now, we're doing it again. I'm gonna wear a different jersey this time though.
So of course, you know what I'm saying, that's popped off. You got that's coming up. So now you have an opportunity is at stakes now. You know what I'm saying? Both teams, MLK, the reigning MLK champions are going to be there. Pico said his team may not. He's going to be there. So now you have opportunity. Someone, for the most part, is going to have to break a record, a streak. Of course, we don't know who it is. I guess we'll be able to hear about it and talk about once they start to put out the Capital Classic. Of course, we know the rules have changed to the Capital Classic. I guess making things a little more stringent on what they can do. I heard the whispers and the talk. Well, not the whispers. I heard the banging in reference to, you know what I'm saying, why is it a change? You're messing up a tradition, yada, yada, yada. Which sometimes change is hard to take, but doesn't always mean there's a problem with change. I'm sure everyone's going to still go out there and
I got a question for you, though, Try. Is it change? Is it change or is it more of the same? We have different spaces for different reasons. There's a reason why the Orlando tournament exists. There's a reason why the Capital Classic exists. There's a reason why Joe Hall exists. There's a reason why the NBA Finals exists. There's a reason why the Pac West exists. There's a reason why the MAC exists. The CUSNBL exists. Everybody needs to stick to their purpose. But what happens is they can only see success in their vision. Mm-hmm. And they use their power to bleed over into other people's vision, onto other people's path, just because what it is they really only want to compete in their space. That's what it is. They don't want to get uncomfortable. So they're bleeding over into other tournaments. I have no problem competing with these rules, and these rules. But I want to compete in these rules, and these rules. I don't want all to become one because, to be completely honest with you, like I said, some things, I have said this, I've been saying for years, and I'll say it again. Shepherd Air Force Base is in the worst situation in military basketball. They cannot win according to the current environment. You're not allowed to have trainees on your team, and you need to have people from your base. Shepherd Air Force Base is 90% AETC. If you are their active duty, you are there in service of the trainees. Mm-hmm. Their active duty aircraft unit has about 56 people compared to what? 2,000 at other bases? You look at Air Force Base teams, a lot of them, most of them are comprised of aircraft maintainers. So we're going to put Shepherd Air Force Base in the same space, in the same competition as Fort Hood. Fort Hood is the largest base in the continental United States, right? This shit ain't hard to figure out. Fort Hood was one of the best teams in the country 5 years ago. They're one of the best teams now, and they're going to be one of the best teams in 5 years. Shepherd Air Force Base was one of the worst teams in the country 5 years ago. They're one of the worst teams now, and they're going to be one of the worst teams in 5 years. And that's not a knock. I love Coach Brandon Taylor. I watch him, go out to tournaments and compete, literally like dress up. I watch him be their fifth man. Mm-hmm. There's no reason why that should ever happen. He does. I don't even have the bravery to do it. I'll never suit up. Ever. And I watch him be the fifth man and go and compete in tournaments, go and pay the same money and not be given the same opportunity. There's no way you're telling me that they're being given the same opportunity as the rest of us are. Hell, every base is I'm a couple of PCSs away from being below 500. Every base. So all this, conjecture about what can happen if we do this and we do that, guys need to learn how to become uncomfortable and grow. That's what I think. But,
Jazz, he said under 500, and you shuddered for a second. I thought he said Mufasa.
I mean, I was talking about my base. I can't speak for hers.
Nah, we good.
So, of course, ideally, the open tournament is the ideal, so you can see people. I know I've heard Colton talk about it all the time and saying you want in state, everyone wants to compete. Of course, everyone now Orlando is one of those tournaments. Well, and that's good you just said that, Jack, because I'm about to say, is the rhetoric or is the when you ear to the street, is everyone fine with it just being one open tournament? Like, how many open tournaments do you need? I know Capital was ideally the one in which, due to that's been looked at, it was like the granddaddy of all for open tournaments, and now that's kind of being removed from that. Now you have Orlando, new kid on the block. Do you need more than one open tournament?
Yeah, I would say so. But in Orlando is after
the season.
Nationals.
After the season.
Yeah, it's after Nationals is when everybody's just chilling and just hooping the hoop. Capital Classic was kind of like your warm up, your test to see if you had what you needed to compete for the end of the season. So it's unfortunate that they made that change without considering what it meant to everybody who participates in it. But what can you do? We've been beating this horse for a long time. They don't.
I think it's some people in which I think change is going to come. In which it's probably going to be something that's going to come back. That's going to be. I think change is going to come. I say that. I think
only hope for real.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's going to come. I mean, so I asked the question in which I see Ison was talking about Kim, in which I spoke to Kim briefly. We had a brief conversation just in general, just chopping it up. I know the MG33 she did away with. What's the major change? In which Coach Rich is asking.
What's the major change?
Yeah, was that a major change for the most part? Because they put a limit on who and what. Was that a major change when it came to the Capitol, or was that always the case and now it's just being enforced?
I mean, I think it's a major change. Why change it? I just don't get what was the point of changing it. But like I said, I'm not in those meetings, so.
Yeah, I mean, we know what the major change. I work with kids from 8 to 4:30. It's 8 p.m. now. My patience isn't
I got you.
It's not intact. We know what the major change is. There's no need to
beat that, to go over there.
Yeah,
I mean, like Snow said, it seems like once the change came, and I even shared it, and I seen like the comments that came with it, and basically it seems like that's what everyone feels like. It's basically the NMBT just before the NMBT.
On what you posted that it was a change?
Yeah,
in parentheses.
It did say the change. Yeah, correct.
Okay, so let me step to the left.
Yeah. People mad they got their head beat in last year.
Who said that?
Haley.
No.
I mean, but like I said, it is going to be interesting to see. I mean, I guess what you have to do is, for the most part, which sometimes you're going to see what you get after. I mean, in this format, in the way we'll see. So maybe because what everyone's used to is what was driving the bus. But once y'all get down there and start to compete, and under this format, maybe we'll see. Maybe it might be a little more competitive. I don't know. I mean, it may not look like that on paper right now, but once y'all get down there, you're going to basically everyone's going to see what it looks like, and then of course, then it's going to be conversations, and which is going to be like this wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Can we go back to what we used to? Think about it. The NBA All-Star Game used to be the captain chose it. We did that for a couple of years. Realized it wasn't what it wasn't what we really wanted. Now the NBA is going back to East versus West. Sometimes you have to try a little something out to see if it's going to work.
Yeah, $100 extra for contractors. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, it's like does the contractors when they shoot the basketball, does it cost more for the refs or something?
Yeah, honestly, like, is it an extra T-shirt?
What do you even mean? Bro? What are we doing? Like, what are we really talking about here?
Yeah, and it's. Like, I hope it doesn't affect the participation because, like, for us, it doesn't affect our roster. It affects our competition. So if the numbers aren't, what is it normally, like 16 teams? And there's people who are mad that they can't participate. Now we probably lost like 4 teams, maybe 6, or people who just don't want to compete with teams that aren't that great.
So travel across the country to get their asses kicked. Plain and simple. Nobody wants to waste thousands of their soldiers' dollars to go and get their head beat in. Plain and simple. That's what it comes down to. So there was a format to where you felt like you were given a fair opportunity to compete in this format. That's where you win. That it just comes down to guys taking away other teams' opportunities. Because let's keep in mind, there are other teams that aren't in certain conglomerates that aren't able to compete at the Capital Classic or the Nationals without certain rules in place. Right. Hawaii Elite was one of them, supposedly last year. That if they weren't able to have guys who they had, they wouldn't have 5 people. So why are we trying to get players out of military sports? That should be the question. Why are we restricting its resiliency as long as it goes with my vision? It's resiliency as long as we make it fair. What's so fair? The same fucking team's been winning. The same teams have been winning. The same teams. Let's try something else. Let's try something else. The same teams have been winning.
Yeah, who's complaining about the teams winning? The coaches or the players?
The coaches.
Really?
Who made the rule changes?
The coaches, the players, man, guys just want
to players hoop. Don't care. They don't care.
Guys
they just want to hoop, and they want to see their friends, and they want to hang out in a cool city. Like
they want to compete. What? They want to. Guys just want to hoop. Now, I think now, don't get me wrong. There should be some governance. You know what I'm saying? Like you should be able to switch squads in between a year and things like that. I think once you choose your squad, you should be able. That's what you have to play for. But did you hear what I said? Once you choose your squad, now that comes with positives and negatives. Because you can go into a squad thinking y'all gonna be the shit, and then y'all suck, and now you stuck there because you can't change teams. Because you made a premature decision and chose to go with something that looked good but maybe isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
And then that puts pressure on coaches to develop relationships, not be rude to players. Because right now you have to play for me if you want to play. Now you got guys, they ain't got that grip on that stuff no more.
It is. Go ahead.
And I mean, we get a lot of stuff. I mean, even Coach Miller down in CMB, like I said, he's one of my direct competitors, but I talked to him because, we occupy the same space. They didn't allow him to play this past weekend down in Peterson, even though his team could have used him. Because they said that he was a coach for another team and all types of stuff. So, I mean, like I said, it depends on what your definition or model of resiliency is. Actually being able to participate and having faith and commitment through circumstance. If you try to control the circumstance, then that's not true resiliency or faith. But it is what it is.
So definitely, coaches, it has been grand. Of course, y'all know y'all always welcome on having a conversation in which, saying some things, of course, like Jazz say, continue to be the dead horse. In some aspects, I know, like you said, that was a hot topic when it came out, when they looked at the enforcing of the rules. But of course, ideally, in-state is going to go down and compete. So question, just I thought about it when you said something. Currently, under as of last year, though, how many teams have gone down to the Capital Classic and got their heads beat in down there compete? Is it a competitive tournament where people don't get smacked up, or do people get busted and then they come down there and it's just a waste of money? Like honestly,
never a waste of money now.
Well, you're right. Yeah, good times. Yes,
now, from my understanding about the Capital Classic, what happened last year was, a team was really good. They had some really good players on it, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing is, at the Capital Classic, we hadn't really seen anything like that before. Mm-hmm. The response to that isn't to ban it, because now teams they beat the hell out of teams last year. They beat the dog shit out of teams last year. But now we're coming. They didn't beat everybody, but they beat the dog shit out of a couple of teams.
So they bring the Avengers. You go get the Super Friends. It's basically as you
now teams are prepared for that shit. Like teams are like, okay, y'all did that last year. Now that we know that those rules can happen, teams will prepare for it. You don't ban it because you can't compete with it. Y'all are too good. We're not dealing with that. Y'all team is done. What?
People
That
were
is the
looking forward to seeing
definition of tyrannical behavior. The definition of it.
Yeah.
You're not being comfortable with a result, and so you changing the contributing factors. What?
And they were beatable.
They were beatable.
Yeah, I mean,
and then I mean that's my competitive nature. Is like if you do is like at this point, I was like I just want to beat you. You know what I'm saying? I
They
like
get
you know
40
what?
minutes.
Yeah.
You get
Got
40
you.
minutes.
Yeah, I got you. We'll see. And I look every year to come back to see for me to be able to be victorious. Like I understand it. Yeah.
You ain't got to be better than them guys the next day or the day before. Hell, you ain't even got to be better than them for the whole 40 minutes. As long as you're better than them just that last minute when the buzzer is sounded and the game is over, that's all that matters. So you don't have to be better than these guys. You don't have to build a roster as good as these guys. You just got to compete and live with the results. But guys don't want to do that.
Definitely, guys. So
guys want to do it. Coaches don't want to do
coaches. I wonder who these coaches are. I like to have a conversation with them. Just it ain't got to be on the you know what I'm saying, live. Just to have a conversation for content and just for understanding for the most part. Of course, you know what I'm saying, it just depends because it was on a memo. It was a memo head, so that tells you that it's a sanctioned, military sanctioned event. So of course that comes with certain things. So, but again, when you do it. When it's just connected and bring it into community and it's not connected and ran by sanctioned events like i.e. AETC or MWR, FSS, all that type of stuff is a whole different ball game. So like I said, change is probably going to come.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, I don't want any of that to take away from the fact that I absolutely love doing what I do. I love it. I mean, like I tell my guys all the time in games, there's no place I'd rather be than right there on the sideline with them. But there's nothing wrong with being committed to progression and, you know, wanting to do better, wanting more. There's nothing wrong with growth. We can't just stop right here and be like, hey, we're satisfied. Hey, this is a good product. What can we do to grow it? How can we put these players in better positions? I was talking to Colt about this the other day. I said, you know, it might be a pipe dream, but my biggest, if I could walk away, when I walk away from military basketball, if I can establish the term military athlete, that'll be my biggest thing to where, you know, guys want to compete. You know, you still do your military thing first, your family first, but you still get to be an athlete to where, you know, at Fort Sam, our base supports the hell out of us. But they didn't at first, but we put out a product. We kept putting it in their face like, hey, we're going to reserve the gym. Hey, we're going to host open runs with the tech schoolers. Hey, here's some free gear. Hey, we're giving gear to the tech schoolers. So we created pride around our program. And so that's just where it's at right now. I really want to see military basketball get to a point to where these bases take pride in their basketball programs and contribute to it. Because then that's real competition, right? Now you got to do everything when it comes to coaching. Not just coach on holiday weekends, not practice, pop up. No, you actually got to commit to a program. So that's kind of what if that was to happen, that would be awesome.
Never know. Like you said, it's always a grind. Everything is a grind. What we do in life is continue. Of course, you don't get paid for this. I don't get paid for this. So it just continues on. But you know, saying in state it doesn't go unnoticed. Like everyone talking about. I mean, even in the smartest of microcosms. Now, Langley is number one. JBLE is number one. And for JBSA, Fort Sam is number 4, you know what I'm saying, where it wasn't started like that. So it goes noticed, and they'll say, of course, in which it'll continue on, I'm very sure. And then you get how it all comes out and gets decided is when y'all strap them up and put them on and get in those 90-foot square circle. And now, you know what I'm saying, it gets decided then. And then just because it's decided then doesn't mean it's going to come later on. We'll see a different product. So always something. So I greatly appreciate coaches y'all coming on, chopping it up with me a little bit. Again, congratulations on winning y'all MLKs. And I look forward to. So I got a new job. Like I said, I work on AETC as well. but my job is during the weekend. So, but I want maybe have to take a look and see if I can pull up at the Capitol Classic and see how it all goes down. So, but if not, then of course I always be there and checking and looking at y'all and seeing who's streaming. Maybe Kirk or somebody, Perry, going to be there to take it, or Latrina or somebody.
They're going to stream all our games.
Okay.
We always
hope we don't play each other, because everybody will need earplugs. It's going to be ridiculous between me and him yelling.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, Coach Jay gets it in. I sit up and record it sometimes. I'm like, yo. But of course, like I said, greatly appreciate y'all coming on. Greatly appreciate all those that had comments and sections. Hopefully everything in state for me, like I said, regardless of the conversation, I purposely come in when I do this so that way I don't have anything to say I'm leading anyone towards anywhere. So, you know what I'm saying? I 100% unscripted, unknown when I sit up and do it. If someone hit me up, be like, hey, I want to come on. I just hope, you know what I'm saying? I pray that there's nothing that's going to be to where I've seen that's taking sides or anything like that, and just go on and basically just as everyone else is, I don't know as from what the next man does. So again, greatly appreciate you coming on and be able to share and talk and have the conversation. And I feel like it was positive. I don't think anything came up to where it was any negative or anything like that. Or if it was subliminal, I didn't know about it. And you know what I'm saying? And we'll see. So look forward to seeing and hearing about what y'all doing, what y'all got going on, especially at the Capitol. I know Coach Jay, y'all got you got games, NBA games coming up. Jazz doesn't play in the NBA, so she's just putting games together or taking rest. But of course, like I said, at this point, y'all both champions MLK, and that's a salute to y'all. Any last words before we get up out of here?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys are in the local area, you know, down in Killeen on January 27th, 28th, we'll be playing our CUSNBL games against Fort Hood, Cannon, and Shepherd. Ooh. Coach Mason from Cannon, you know, they got a couple of all-armed forces players. They're going to be great competition. I love Coach Mason, the energy he brings. And like I said, Coach Shepherd is a friend of mine, Coach Brandon Taylor down at Shepherd. I'm looking forward. I even tried, you know, assisting their team, trying to make them stronger. So I'm looking forward to see what he does, what he's done with that help. And then, of course, us in Fort Hood, we're going to go to war, as we always do.
We'll look forward to hearing about it. Anything, what y'all got going on, Jazz?
Our WayMac games, but again, I don't know when or where they are off the top of my head. But hope to see our normal folks at the Capitol Classic plus some new faces. So I look forward to that, and to be seeing you, sir. Hopefully,
it's a party. It's a party. It's a party.
I can't take all that yelling. I'm gonna get you a text. When we play against each other, I'm gonna get you a text.
Listen, it don't take much. I can tell you that. I can tell you it don't take much.
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
It does not.
You're like, look at him yelling, get him.
So of course, like I said, always a pleasure speaking to y'all. And you know what I'm saying, I love doing this, a part of that. So look forward to see y'all. Until next time, y'all know what it is. Y'all know where to find me. Peace. Holla at y'all.
Yes, sir.
Platoon sergeant, you good? All right. Company, 10.